Hello, my name is Gail Campbell. I'm the Westman Area Coordinator for the Manitoba Lung Association. I'd like to tell you about an event that we're holding on Saturday, October 24th. It's called the Awesome Race for Breath. The Awesome Race for Breath is a fundraiser for the Manitoba Lung Association that is modeled after the popular TV show Amazing Race. Everybody knows what that's about. In our version of the race, teams of two will solve clues to find pit stops that are located around Brandon, and at each pit stop they will complete a fun and exciting challenge before racing to the finish. First team back wins. Pretty straightforward. The Awesome Race for Breath is a fun event that raises important funds around something that's not so much fun, and that's lung disease. Breathing is something that we take for granted. Being able to take part in an event like the Awesome Race for Breath is something that we take for granted, unless you're the 1 in 5 Manitobans who struggle with lung disease. These people, in some cases, would be out of breath just walking across the room. The money raised by the Awesome Race for Breath goes to the Manitoba Lung Association for programs that offer education, advocacy. We have support groups for people with lung disease. For instance, in Brandon, we have a best breather group called, and in Winnipeg, also a support group for people who are lung transplant patients. Money goes towards research. Last year was the first year that the Awesome Race was held in Brandon, and I'm going to be talking to some of the people who participated last year to give you some idea of what you might expect from this year's race. I'd like to introduce Janet Reichert from the Rena Respiratory Care Group. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you very much, Gail.
Janet and I would like to announce that Rena Respiratory Care Group is going to be the gold sponsor for this year's Awesome Race for Breath. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. We're very excited to be on board.
For sure. Rena was one of our sponsors last year, and we're particularly happy to have you as a sponsor because the products and services that you provide reach the same goals that the Manitoba Lung Association does, and that's to help people to breathe. Could you tell us what Rena offers?
Rena Respiratory is a care group that provides diagnosis and support to those with compromised pulmonary functions or sleep disordered breathing issues. It's a really great team. I am very proud to be a part of Rena Respiratory. The experts, the respiratory experts that we have a genuine concern for people's health, and we just really focus on enhancing people's lives and maximizing the quality of their lives.
Yep, and I know that firsthand because I met your crew last year, and they're an awesome bunch of people, very enthusiastic. Yes. What is your position at Rena?
I am actually a sleep apnea technician. So what that means is when someone comes in for a sleep study, they would then go to see our specialist, our respirologist, Dr. Charles Penner. He would give them a diagnosis, and if they did need further treatment, such as CPAP therapy, positional therapy, they would then come see myself, and I would then be able to provide them education and support for their long-term therapy.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what brought Rena on board last year? Why did you decide to sponsor?
Last year, we heard about the Awesome Race for Breath and just thought it was such a great, fun event. And as you mentioned in your introduction there, Rena and the Manitoba Lung Association, our area is very parallel with one another. And it's just such a great opportunity for us to educate the public, on chronic lung disease and, have a fun time doing it.
Absolutely. So tell me about the pit stop that your group designed last year and what was involved for the teams.
Well, we had a blast designing that. As you know, you came by and visited us, and we had a really great time. We wanted to create a pit stop that was challenging for the competitors, but we also wanted to, let them understand the challenges that someone with a chronic lung disease goes through every day. So what we had was, when the people came to our pit stop, we gave them an oversized sweatshirt, and they then had to blow up a whole package of balloons, creating the shortness of breath that some of our patients do experience. And they then stuffed their sweatshirt with the balloons, and we had them put a regulator on an oxygen tank. They then had to cart the oxygen tank around an obstacle course, you know, gaining an idea and a respect for those with, you know, with that issue and having to do that on a daily basis. We then had them run a short distance and followed up by some balloon and dart popping. So it was a good time.
A lot of action at your pit stop.
It was a good time. We had a lot of fun planning it.
So how many of your staff were involved with that pit stop that day?
I believe we had about 12 staff members come out and volunteer that day, and some of our children came as well, and they had an absolute blast, you know, cheering on the competitors and helping out. It was a really good bonding time for our staff. Yeah.
Absolutely, a great team builder, right?
It was, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. So I know you had a lot of fun doing that. So you're back as a sponsor, so chances are you're going to have a pit stop again this year.
We sure are.
We can't disclose any of the details around that because the pit stops are kept secret until race day. So I assume you guys all have your thinking caps on and you're hard at it?
Absolutely, yes. We've got our thinking caps are on and lots of ideas are flowing in, so we are very excited.
Yes, and I'd like to welcome Danny and Diane Finley to our show. These ladies were Team Haven Salon and Spa last year, and they came in second at the first Awesome Race for Breath. Congratulations, lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you gave it a valiant effort.
Yeah, we were hoping for first.
We thought we had it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give you another chance at it this year, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
How did you hear about the Awesome Race for Breath last year?
Well, actually, when I got your email to ask us to be a pit stop, and that's how I heard about it, and then I told Danny about it. So
That's great. So your business, Haven Salon and Spa here in Brandon, was one of our sponsors and hosted a pit stop. Tell me about the challenge that you had for the racers at Haven.
They had to paint a set of nails to our standards there, and then they also had a set of implements, which we use in the spa side, to match up correctly to their names.
Ah, okay. So often the pit stops that we had with the races last year, they tried to design their challenges around something that was related to their business. So that's something that racers can expect again this year. What made you decide to enter a team?
Well, I told her about it being a pit stop, and then she goes, "We should do it." We're both really, really competitive, and we do a lot of like sports together. So yeah, that's why we decided to do it.
And then after we did this, actually, we put in a video application for the Amazing Race Canada.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we didn't get picked. We're still here,
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Well, we were like your training ground then, right?
Yeah, exactly. We have our medals and everything.
Yeah, we did.
That's great. So what was your favorite pit stop last year, Diane?
I actually really liked the one at the gym because there was lots of like fun kind of like obstacle courses and different thing there to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
And of course, the race isn't a race in the sense that you have to be athletically inclined, right?
No.
We did have a pit stop at one of the gyms here in town, but a lot of it was small tasks like balancing on a ball, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
and kind of the obstacle, you'd have to do bear crawls and stuff like that. Yeah, like kind of sometimes silly stuff too. Yeah.
Silly's a good thing.
Yeah.
And how about you, Danny? What did you like? Which challenge did you like the best? Was that the one that you enjoyed?
That one was good. We had to build a bug house at Home Depot. That one was kind of fun.
For sure.
And we got to keep it.
Oh yeah, did you give it to Ethan?
Yeah, I gave it to my nephew too. Yeah.
Great, something to take home at the end of the race.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention too, because you were a team that was tied to one of our pit stops, what we do in that event, we had a couple of teams like that, and we obviously can't have you doing your own challenges. So we provided a different pit stop for you to go to that was at the actual Manitoba Lung Association office. Do you remember what you had to do there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had to find a guy named Chris in the skate park first, which we went up to a few people. And then once we found him, we had to do an obstacle course where we had to use a straw and blow the spider along a obstacle course.
And then you collected things and carved out a jack-o'-lantern when you got there.
Yeah.
That's right, that's right.
He was so funny. We were not that good at blowing the little thing through, and he was trying so hard not to laugh at us and laughing pretty hard at us.
Yeah.
And you could see him trying to maintain his cool, but
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And it's hard to blow through a straw when you're in a hurry, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you were
Yes.
probably trying not to laugh yourself. So
Yeah.
So what pit stop did you find the most difficult or the most challenging?
We talked about it on the way here.
Yeah.
Maybe the one at the master feed lot, trying to find this bag of food, and we didn't quite read the directions properly.
Yeah, it was probably our own fault. Other people maybe found it easy, but I feel like we were running down there like we finally had to ask the guy for a hint because we had no idea. We were not reading.
Like, up, down?
Yeah.
He's like, come on, girls.
Yeah, so that one probably stumped us the most.
Yeah. So at the Master Feed Challenge last year, teams went to the warehouse, and they have hundreds of bags of feed stored there. They're all in white bags, I think, pretty much, with black writing. And the challenge was to find the one pallet amongst all those hundreds of bags that had rabbit food in it, right?
Yeah.
And then you got a little container of rabbit food, and then you had to deliver the container to a rabbit that was also hidden in the warehouse.
Which was fake, and I thought it would be real. So looking for a real one, but yeah, it was a fake one.
They had a little sign too that said, "Caution, vicious rabbit may bite."
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, those guys at Master Feeds were great last year.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. So are you going to plan to be part of the awesome race this year again?
Oh yeah. So we're gunning for first place this year.
Yeah, we're gonna take it.
Yeah.
These girls are competitive, and they're coming to win. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to give the men a run for their money this year.
Good.
Hope so.
Thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I know you've got your entry forms already, and so we'll look forward to seeing you guys in October.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. And I'm really happy to welcome the winners of the 2014 Awesome Race for Breath. This is Jarek and Rick Haywoods, of Brandon, Manitoba. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your win last year.
Thanks.
Rick and Jarek went under the name Team The Hustlers, and that's what they did. They hustled through that course last year. I believe it took you about 3 hours to complete the course.
Yep.
And you were pretty out of breath when you arrived at the finish line.
Yes.
For sure. How did you first hear about the awesome race last year?
I heard from my dad. He sent me a text there, and he had a bulletin board note at Westman Salvage. And so then I looked it up on the internet there, and I was really excited to do it. So
Great.
yeah.
Because you're a real Amazing Race fan, right?
I am, yeah. Yeah, I watched them all, so I was really excited.
That's good. So did you have to talk your dad into getting a team together?
It was pretty easy. I told him that we were going to do it, and if we were going to do it, we were going to win. It's for a good cause, but I do like to win. So that was the plan, and that was what I said was going to happen. And
you came in with your guns blazing,
came
didn't
in
you?
guns blazing. He did really well. I was kind of surprised. He surprised me, actually. I didn't know he could run that fast. So
There you go.
yeah.
So the teams have to fundraise to enter the race. Did you have any trouble reaching your fundraising goals?
We got there. I relied on him to do most of it because I'm really awkward at asking for money.
Oh, there you go.
So I relied on him to do most of our goal. I think I gave like $20 in the end, so to help.
That's great, though. But people are on board with helping out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
And of course, the teams get to start the race in the order of the money raised. So the top fundraising team last year was the Dixon Duo from Carberry. They were two young ladies. They raised over $1,200
Yeah, they
with
did
their
really good.
fundraising. That gave them a 2-minute start on the rest of the field. Were you guys worried that you might not be able to make up that time?
No.
No. I knew with his driving we'd be okay.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. I hope you
Yeah.
weren't breaking any speed limits.
Oh, no.
No. We were doing okay, but he gets us where we need to go, so I had faith in him on that one. So
Oh, great,
Yeah.
great. So what was your favorite challenge last year?
I really liked the Halloween costume one.
Oh, yeah?
I think that was really fun.
Can you explain what that was for people that don't know?
Okay, so you would go into the Halloween shop at the Shoppers Mall, and you would have to stick your hand in this cauldron of goo, and you'd pull out a clue, and the clue was an item in the Halloween shop that you'd have to find. So once you found all your clues, you had to take it was like a Jell-O shot of tonic water, I think, and that was probably the worst shot I've ever had in my life. It wasn't the most tasty, but it was fun, so that was one of my favorites.
There you
Yeah.
go. And how about you, Rick? What did you like the most?
The end. After it was all over. I don't know if I've had a favorite one or not. Oh, they were all okay, I guess.
Was there one that you found particularly difficult?
I didn't like the coffee shop one. That's too
Okay.
much memorizing.
Can you tell us what that challenge entailed?
You had to remember all, was there 30-some flavors of coffee and write them down in order.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
alphabetical order,
Alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I relied on him for that one. Yeah.
That was definitely one of the mental challenges that was offered at the pit stops. You had a limited time to study the list,
Yeah.
and then you had to write them down in alphabetical order, and then you were allowed to go back again, right? But
Yeah.
you had less time
They
each
knocked
time.
off 10 seconds every time, so.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what about you, Jarek? Was there one that you found difficult, or?
The coffee shop one was difficult, but it was really fun. It was fun to kind of test the memory knowledge. I had at the gym, I had trouble keeping the ball in my chin for the bear crawl. I don't know if it kept slipping out. That was tough, that one, but.
Yeah, just a simple thing like that, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, something so simple, yeah.
Well, that's great. I know you guys put in like 150% effort on that race, so it was well worth it in the end to come in first.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Fun to do it with him, bonding. So
For sure. So are you guys going to put in a team again this year?
We are. I told them we won last year. We have to come back and prove we still got it. So
There you go,
Yeah.
the defending champions.
yeah.
You also mentioned that you might have some other family members taking part this year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and our other son are thinking they might try it. We'll see. I'm not sure yet, but
Apparently they won't stand a chance against you two though. Eh?
No mercy.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for entering last year.
Oh, yeah.
The
You're
race, the Awesome Race for Breath last year raised $6,000 for the Manitoba Lung Association. And we're hoping this year that we have more than double that. So
Yeah.
it's teams like you that make that possible. So thank you so much for coming down and talking about the race last year, and certainly look forward to seeing you guys in October at the start line.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you then.
okay, thanks.
So I hope that you will plan on getting a team together and joining us for the Awesome Race for Breath this year. We've added some interesting new twists to the race, and they're going to keep things really interesting. The first thing we've added in this year are something called bump cards. And bump cards are cards that are played during the race by teams. When you arrive at a pit stop, you might find a lineup of teams ahead of you who are waiting to do that challenge. You can play your pit stop there and move ahead of the team that's immediately ahead of you in line. So you gain a bit of an advantage during the race. Bump cards are really easy to get. You obtain bump cards when you enter your team in the race. The earlier you enter, the more bump cards you get. So we're taking team entries now. You can get an entry form from the Manitoba Lung Association's website. That's at mb.lung.ca, and our contact information will be coming up on screen throughout the interview, so you'll be able to know how to get in touch with me. You can also reach me at 204-725-4230 or by email at westman@mb.lung.ca. Once you enter, then the teams begin fundraising. There is no entry fee. You can fundraise from the time you enter until the morning of the race when you bring everything down to the start line. The minimum to get a place at the start line that the teams have to raise is $200 for the team. However, if you raise more money than that, you can start earning race advantages. The first of these is our one-way card. A one-way card is a card that you play during the race, and it will allow you a phone call back to race headquarters to help with solving a clue to find one of the pit stops. So that'll send you on your way just a little bit earlier. When you reach the next fundraising level, that's when you'll receive 5 more bump cards. These are in addition to the cards that you will receive when you enter. So it just gives you a little bit more advantage during the race and more bump cards to play. If you reach the next fundraising level, you will receive a U-turn card. A U-turn card is a card used for a team that is at the front of a lineup, and you can send them to the back of the lineup. The next fundraising level will give you a roadblock card. A roadblock card allows you to put any team on hold for 5 minutes at any point during the race. And this, of course, it's a speed race, right? It's the first team back. So any chance you have to move ahead of a team or send a team backwards gives you a race advantage. If you reach the maximum fundraising level, you will earn an express pass as well. And an express pass will allow you to skip a challenge completely. You'll still have to go to the pit stop and hand in your card, but you will receive your clue for the next location, and you completely miss that stop. So there's lots of advantages. If you attain the, if you reach the express pass level, you also get all the rest of the cards. So the more money you raise, the better your start position. Fundraising levels also come into play with the start of the race. The top fundraising team starts the race a full 5 minutes ahead of the rest of the field. So that's really something that's going to give that team a real competitive edge. After that, all the teams are released from the start line at 30-second intervals, and they're in descending order of amounts raised. So the more money you raise, the better your start position will be. The other change this year is that the clue cards will be given after the completion of each challenge. So that's very close to the way that the television show runs as well. There's going to be 12 stops this year all over Brandon, lots of different things to do. So the Awesome Race for Breath is really, really a fun event. You can spend the day, you're going to be out seeing some new things, going to places that you might not have gone before. You're definitely going to be doing some things that you haven't done before. So, you know, grab your husband, your wife, your child. Racers can be as young as 10 years old if they're accompanied by an adult. Grab your neighbor, your coworker, your boss. It really doesn't matter. Just get somebody to come, get a team together, and enter your team. Go to the Manitoba Lung Association's website, mb.lung.ca, to get your entry form, and you can get started right away. It's going to be really fun. You're going to have a great day, and at the same time you're going to be doing some good because you're helping the Manitoba Lung Association, and with them you're going to be helping people who have lung disease to have a better quality of life. So I hope that you will join me on Saturday, October 24th at the Town Centre for the Awesome Race for Breath. My name is Gail Campbell. I'm the area coordinator for the Manitoba Lung Association, and I look forward to seeing you at that race.